Hey guys, it's Jen from algonquinblog.com. Today we're looking at planning your route. This is in preparation for my solo trip in June. However, this can also be in preparation for your canoe trip in the future, whether it would be a trip with the guys or it's a trip with your parents. It doesn't matter. You can use all the information I'm giving you for that trip. To start off, I went to algonquinmap.com. This is also known as Just Maps. I talk about them all the time because they really are that good. They're light, they're waterproof, they come in different sections so you're not having to carry the whole park map. And best of all, they have an online version so that you can see it in front of you. What we're going to do is first talk about the paddle-in sites that I kind of mentioned earlier today. Paddle-in sites, as I said, are sites that you can park and paddle into very quickly within an hour at the most. So this is Canoe. There are 16 paddle-in sites. Of those 16s, I highly recommend this one here. It has a point. It has a rock face that you can jump off of. And it really is the most beautiful site there because you get the sunsets at night, but you also get a bit of the sunrise in the morning. If you're going to paddle in and you want to camp the night before here in Canoe, you can, or you can park your car over here in the picnic bench and go in from there. The other spot, as we follow Highway 60 all the way over here past Two Rivers, this is the quick tour of Algonquin Park, down past Whitefish, we get to Rock Lake. So Rock Lake also has 16 different paddle-in sites. There are more beyond the Rock Lake boundary here. But these are the 16 that we're talking about. Your access point is here. There is a parking lot there. And my favorite island or site to camp on is pretty much this island here. This one here has a sandy beach, or at least it used to, where you could walk in from your site to the water and enjoy the water at your leisure. You can put your chair in the sand kind of thing. Again, there's a campsite here if you want to camp the night before. So those are your two options for paddle-in sites along the Highway 60 corridor. So now we're going to go back to talking about planning your route. I am looking at going in to Canoe Lake, and give me a second to get there because it takes a little bit to get there. There we go, Canoe Lake. This is the ideal location for a paddle-in start because you have your Outfitters portage store. If you want to go to Algonquin Outfitters, which is my preferred store, you can. You just have to pick up and bring it into the park with you. But the reason I'm choosing Canoe Lake is because of the historical sites that are here. So along this shore, we have Mowat, the original village where Tom Thompson used to stay with Winnie Trainer. Winnie Trainer's cottage is still standing and is along this site. I took pictures of it last summer. You have the cemetery, which I have found, but I will not share with others how to find it. You have the cairn, and you also have Potter's Creek, which has some of the original sites standing, like the former mill site, and the Canoe Lake Station is here as well. So to paddle up Canoe Lake takes roughly 45 minutes. And then you have from here a choice of going to the left or the right. To go on for your canoe trip, you're going to go to the left. Or sorry, to the right. Because this is your access into other lakes like Joe Lake over here. If you want to explore Potter's Creek before you go to the right, that's absolutely fine. That's up to you. I plan on it. That's my trip. So from there, we get to Joe Lake, and we get to this dam, which is the portage. It's a quick, easy portage, guys. You pick up your canoe on two ends if you have two of you, and you kind of portage it around the dam, put it in a few feet down, and away you go. If you're solo like myself, it's going to take a little bit more effort because you actually have to portage the canoe and your equipment. But again, it's an easy portage. You can do it very quickly. From here, you have the choice of going through Joe, Little Joe, Lost Joe, Baby Joe, or you can go to Teepee, Fawn, to Little Doe, and then eventually Tom Thompson. This route to the left is the route that I'm going to choose. I'm going to go up to Tom Thompson Lake. This route here, the route to the right, is a gorgeous route. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't want to go that route. I've just done it a number of times with my dad. I want to do something new, something that's just for me. So I'm going to go up to Teepee and Fawn and Little Doe and Tom Thompson. When you call in to make a reservation, you need to let them know what to where you're going to camp. So you may need to tell them, well, you will need to tell them the actual lakes that you're going to travel on. So for me, I'd call in and say, I'm starting out at Canoe Lake. My end destination is Tom Thompson. I'm going to base camp on Tom Thompson for 2 nights, and then I'm going to paddle out Canoe Lake. Someone else may say, you know what? I'm starting out at Canoe Lake. I'm going to camp on Joe Lake my first night. Then I'm going to paddle up to Big Porky or Burnt Island my second night. And then I'm going to paddle back and stay on Joe my third night and then come out. As long as they know where you're staying every night, if something goes wrong, they can send out a search party or an emergency party. It's for your safety that they ask you all these questions. So don't think that they're trying to get in your personal business. It's for safety reasons. So, like I said, I'm going to come up Canoe. I'm going to go to Joe and then Teepee. And the main reason I'm doing all this is for the pure fact of the historical sites. On Joe Lake, there's the station where, numerous people got off, including Tom Thompson. And there's also Camp Arrowhon. So this is all history in this section here alone. The former Algonquin Hotel. This is history in the making, and I need to see it. So for me, that's my canoe trip plan. That's what I'm thinking. Now, what if you don't want to go in Canoe Lake and you want to go somewhere else? Well, guess what? There's a lot of access points that you can do. You can go, instead of Canoe Lake, you can go down south to Smoke Lake and go into Ragged Lake and into Parkside Bay. Again, gorgeous area. The island, best site. You have the island to yourself. Or you can go over to, say, Rain Lake on the eastern side and go in Rain Lake and do a trip there. The choices are up to you. However, get onto Just Map if you're going to plan a trip and look at your options. Try to look at the portages. You need to make sure that you're able to physically do them. The Joe Lake portage doesn't take long. It takes 2 seconds. However, well, not necessarily 2 seconds, but it's not that difficult. However, a new person going into the park for the first time on a canoe trip is not going to, want to paddle all the way up Opiongo to the East Arm and then take this. This is the Dixon Bonfield portage. It is the longest portage in the park. It may be not so inclined as other portages. However, it's going to take a lot of stamina and for you to portage your canoe and your gear all the way in one trip. Going back and forth is not going to be an option on that one. So sit down with the map, look at the map, decide, is this really for me? Look at the elevations on the map. For example, this little portage is only 260 meters. However, it has an elevation of 409. So 409 feet, it can be a big elevation. The smaller the elevation circles, guys, the higher it goes. So keep that in mind as you're planning. Make sure that you are physically able to do it. If you're going to go up Opiongo, that's awesome. Take the chance, take the water taxi, and go to this campsite right there. Many of you may remember my Annie Bay photo story. That's it right there. That's my site. Fantastic site. But anyways, that's it for now. Up next, we're going to talk about packing, keeping it light, and only bringing what you absolutely need, not bringing everything, including the kitchen sink. So have a good night, folks, and enjoy your trip.